Sorry, we got cut off there. But perhaps it's worthwhile to separate this to a different video. When it comes to issues in Israel that are really none of our business, that don't affect us, issues of religious freedom, I somewhat feel that we should have nothing to do with these things. Not so much that, we have to be supportive of things that go against our values, but when it's dealing with other communities that has nothing to do with us, and really doesn't affect us that much, and whatever effects it has on us, maybe we should just ignore. It's none of our business. I mean, we manage fine in America with freedom of religion. We are careful about who we marry and so forth. We don't need the government involved in that. Probably the most important issues in Israel about these things are, are you two people who are allowed to get married? I don't think, I'm very upset, to be honest, that they discriminate against certain rabbis officiating at weddings. So the wedding won't be valid. But on the other hand, the Rabbanut sometimes purposely makes invalid weddings. Meaning, they recognize that the people can get married, but they don't have actual Kedushin. So the same thing. So what's wrong? As long as the Rabbanut approves these two people getting married, what difference does it make if a reformer or conservative rabbi officiates at their wedding? What difference does it make? Divorce is a serious issue, but it wouldn't be as much of an issue if they weren't getting married properly, at least according to Reb Moshe and some other poskim. I think Rav Avadia also held like this. That if you have improper kedushin, you don't have to worry about getting as much. And when it comes to giur, when it comes to conversion, so maybe you have different lists. You're on this list or not that list. People, you want to track these things. None of this would be an issue if it wasn't a Jewish state. None of this would be an issue if we kept politics and religion separate. None of this would be an issue if we didn't have the law of return and all these things that just are making bigger problems. And so I know for a lot of people, they think the conversion issue is the biggest issue. First of all, it shows a lack of, it shows ignorance about the laws of conversion and so forth. And also the history of how conversions were performed in Israel under the Rabbanut until very recently. So we talk about the status quo. The Rabbanut changed their status quo. So it's really a tremendous ignorance. So then the other issue is things of recognition of different practices that are not traditional, which are rare in Israel. The average Israeli, they'll say, the synagogue he doesn't go to is an Orthodox synagogue. And even what they call Masorati would be the equivalent of the conservative movement in Israel is more Orthodox than the conservative movement in America. that's neither here nor there. It's really nobody's business. We have, some of the Masorti are more Orthodox than some of the Orthodox in America. At least it used to be that way. It's kind of changed recently. But the average Masorti, the average traditional Masorti in Israel, puts on tefillin, keeps Shabbat, keeps kashrut, keeps tarat mishpacha, So but the other issue is, when it comes to these issues of egalitarianism, what does it hurt us? What is it our business if a group of women want to read the Torah or put on tefillin or put on talesim and so forth by the koisel? It's none of our business. And certainly not to be protesting and yelling and screaming and making Chil Hashem, with the beard and payas and black hats and be yelling and screaming. It's none of our business. Leave them alone. Let them do their thing. Who cares? And I understand they're making a political statement, and that's what upsets me the most about it. But who cares? Just who cares? It's not that important, from all of these issues, and yet people make such spectacles about this, and people are very passionate, and this is what this WZO with the Orthodox slates, they feel that this is what they have to stand up for to make sure that there's no egalitarian prayer at the Western Wall. Who cares? It's none of our business. Let them do it. It doesn't hurt us in any way that they're doing this. To get all riled up about something that's none of our business just makes us look foolish. There's a lesson to be learned by what went on both in Germany and in Hungary, where the Jewish communities separated and were not united because and how it essentially is in America, where we could do our own thing. The Satmar Rebbe was very smart to totally disenfranchised from the regular American. He had nothing to do with Jewish Federation. He had nothing to do with groups like the Hayas, right? He made his own. He made the Rav Tuv instead of Hayas. He made UJO instead of UJA and Federation. And these various things where we have freedom and we should be separate. And so too in the Holy Land, and instead of the Rabbanut, they had the Eidach Haredis, and still have the Eidach Haredis and all these things. And in America, Samarov was very wise in being independent. And it works both ways, because then also we're not bossing them around either. We pretty much want to live and let live. We disagree with you. We want to make it clear that we have nothing to do with you, and you do your thing and we do our thing. I mean, when I was the Rav in Virginia, we had our shul. It was Young Israel Shul, modern Orthodox, but it was more right-wing, almost, close to yeshivish light, or liberal yeshivish. And the other shul, they they hired a very frum Rav, a more modern shul with a more shvacha mechitza, this and that. And at the time, when that former Rav went and found a better job somewhere else, I mean, he's a YU Rav, a modern Orthodox Rav, but he was a very frum Talmud Chacham, and he found a job somewhere else. And they were discussing where are they going to hire a Rav from. And someone was joking, they wanted a rabbi from YCT, and then the more frum people in the shul said, no, of course not. And I said, yes, please. A YCT rabbi is what the shul really needs. And then all the frum people will come daven by me. So that's my take on these things. These things are none of our business. Let them do their thing. Let them be whatever they want to be. And let's mind our own business. Let's raise our own money for our own things. The same thing what Samarov does. For anybody who doesn't take money from the government or doesn't vote or this or that, they raise money from their own philanthropists to support the poor people in the Holy Land who want to remain ideologically pure and intellectually honest. And I think these are the ways, instead of collecting these $7 from every bacher and balabas to vote in the WZO election, why don't we put our money together and have our own erliche things on our own? And the same thing, you don't have to be with me, you don't have to be with the Satmar, and you don't have to be with the Gouda. The YU crowd can do it themselves and have their own moistas. And the problem is that everything is government there. That's the problem with big government. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and tell me what you think. And all right, if your Rebbeim say you should vote in this WZO thing, so that's your business. But to me, it's pretty obvious. Rav Aaron Kotler was against it. This comes up every 5 years, every 10 years. I know it's not the first time. I think even Rav Elyashiv, who was a student of Cook, also said you shouldn't do it. So, Cook was Messiah Kedushin by Rav Elyashiv. And he said he shouldn't, in his time, what changed in the past, 10 years? Rav Elyashiv passed away, 7 years ago? What changed since then? Nothing. And again, this is not from my, but I'm just saying, for me, it seems strange what's going on, but whatever it is, I don't know. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you later. God bless. Take care.